average email open rate across industries sits somewhere between 20 and 35%. So if you send a newsletter to 100 people and about 25 people open it, you're doing fine. You are the average. But there are small businesses hitting 50, 60, even 80% open rates consistently. And not because they have a magic formula for writing subject lines. It's because they've sorted out a few fundamental things that most business owners skip. Here's the thing that surprises most people when they dig into this. If your open rate is really low, like under 10%, writing better subject lines will not save you. That number usually means something more basic is broken. So we're going to start there and then work up to the stuff that actually gets people excited to open your emails. Step 1, work out why your open rate is actually low in the first place. Before you change a single word of your subject lines, you need to know whether your emails are even landing in inboxes. This is the part most people skip. If your open rate is sitting at 2 or 3%, that's almost never a subject line problem. That's a deliverability problem. Your emails are maybe landing in spam or the promotions tab, and most people are never seeing them at all. Here's a quick way to test this. Create 2 or 3 free email accounts, one Gmail and one Outlook. Subscribe yourself to your own list, send a campaign email from your business email, and then go check those inboxes. Did it land in the main inbox, the promotions or spam tab? That tells you exactly what's happening to your emails before they even reach a real customer. If you're landing in spam or promotions, the fix may be a technical one before it's creative. The things that pushes most emails into spam folders are using too many links, too many images, words that trigger filters like free, winner, act now, limited time, click here. But also sending to a list full of people who have never opened anything from you. Email platforms like Gmail track engagement signals across their whole system. If your emails consistently go unopened, the algorithm starts treating you like a spammer even if you're not one. Step 2, clean your list before anything else. Most small business email lists have a problem that nobody likes to admit. A big chunk of the people on the list stopped caring a long time ago. They signed up years ago. They've not even opened anything in 6 or 12 months, and they're dragging your open rate down with them. The counterintuitive move is to stop emailing those people, not forever, but first send them one last chance. A simple 2-email re-engagement sequence. Something like, "We've not seen you in a while, do you still want to hear from us? Click here to stay on the list." Send that twice over 2 weeks. Anyone who does not respond at all gets suppressed. Remove those from your active sends. Now this feels wrong because you're reducing the size of your list, but what you're actually doing is improving the quality of it. A list of 600 people who genuinely open your emails is worth more than a list of 3,000 people who don't. Your deliverability will improve almost immediately because you're now only sending to people who've demonstrated that they actually want to hear from you. In MailChimp, go to your audience and filter by engagement. You'll see a breakdown of active, somewhat engaged, and inactive subscribers. Start there. After you clean the list, for the first couple of weeks, only email your most engaged subscribers. The people who've opened something in the last 30 to 60 days. Let the sending reputation rebuild on that engaged core before you go broader again. Step 3, check that your setup is not working against you. A lot of the pain people experience with low open rates comes from using a tool that was not really built for marketing emails. If you're sending newsletters from your regular business inbox or from a CRM that does not have proper email marketing functionality built in, you're going to keep hitting those walls. What you actually need from your email marketing setup. Automatic contact creation when someone fills in a form on your website. Native tracking of who opens and clicks, and simple automation rules like if someone has not opened anything in 60 days, pause sending to them. If you're still manually exporting lists or copying contacts across from one tool to another, that process is going to keep breaking your deliverability no matter what else you fix. The tool matters less than whether the setup is right. MailChimp, Klaviyo, MailerLite all work. What breaks things is using a tool incorrectly or using something that's not designed for bulk email sends. One more technical note. Make sure you're sending from a business email address at your own domain, not a Gmail or Hotmail account. Sending bulk emails from a personal address is one of the fastest ways to end up in spam. If you have an email from your custom website domain, use it. Making people actually want to open your emails. Once your deliverability is sorted and your list is clean, this is where the real work happens. And the most important thing I can tell you is this: The best performing subject lines, they're not the cleverest ones. They're the ones that make the reader feel something that they can't ignore. Think about what makes you open an email from someone you follow. It's not usually because the subject line was perfectly optimized. It's because you trust the sender, or because the subject line made you genuinely curious, or because it felt like it was written specifically for you. The what the factor in subject lines. The subject lines that get opened are usually the ones that create a question in your head that you cannot answer without clicking. Not clickbait, not a trick, but a genuine curiosity gap that only gets resolved by opening the email. Here's an example of what this looks like in practice. The thing I stopped doing last year. This makes you want to know what it is. This surprised us. Makes you want to know what happened. A question I keep getting asked. Makes you wonder if it's the same question you have. What these have in common is that they tell you just enough to be interesting, but not enough to satisfy the curiosity without opening. The moment you close the gap in the subject line itself, the reason to open disappears. A practical tip: write your subject line after you've written the email, not before. Read through what you wrote and find the most interesting or unusual angle in it. That angle is your subject line. Most people do it the other way around and then wonder why their subject line feels forced. Your sender name matters as much as the subject line. Here's something that most people underestimate. Before your subscriber reads the subject line, they read the sender name, and people open emails from people, not from businesses. Test this. Change your from name to your own name, or your name from your business. So instead of Bondi Botanicals, it becomes Sarah from Bondi Botanicals. Run your next campaign with that change and watch what happens to your open rate. For a lot of the businesses, the difference is noticeable immediately because a name feels personal and a brand name feels like marketing. The deeper principle here is about relationship. If your subscribers have a real relationship with you, if they have read your emails before, they found something useful or entertaining, your open rate will eventually get to a point where the subject line barely matters. People will open your email because they want to hear from you. They want to hear what you have to say. Building that relationship through consistently good emails is the long game, and it's the game worth playing. Preview text, the thing almost everyone ignores. Preview text is a snippet of text that appears in the inbox next to the subject line. On most email clients, you get about 40 to 90 characters before it cuts off. Most businesses either leave this blank, in which case defaults to whatever the first line of the email is, often something like view this email in your browser, or they just repeat the subject line. Use it to extend the subject line. Think of the two together as a 2-sentence pitch for why someone should open. Subject: we've got this wrong. Preview text: and it cost us 3 months of effort. Here's what we learned. Subject: something different this month. Preview text: we tried a new approach. Honestly, we weren't sure it was going to work. 2 reasons to open, one after the other. That's the goal. Keep the emails themselves simple. High open rates are easier to maintain when your emails are easy to read and have a clear point. 1 topic per email, 1 link or call to action. Keep the text short enough that people can read it in under 2 minutes on their phone. Avoid heavy images. An email that's mostly one with large images loads really slowly. It looks broken if images are disabled in the email client, and it's more likely to land in spam. Text-based emails with maybe 1 supporting image outperform image-heavy designs for most small business audiences. And occasionally, ask a question that invites a reply. Something like, hit reply and let me know what you think at the end of an email. Replies are a strong, positive signal to your email platforms that your audience wants to hear from you. Even a handful of replies per campaign can help your deliverability over time. Before we wrap up, it's worth saying, open rates are not a perfect metric. Apple Mail Privacy Protection, which rolled out a few years ago, automatically preloads email images for Apple Mail users, which means opens get counted even when a person never actually opened the email. This has inflated reported open rates across the board. What this means practically: your open rate as a number is less reliable than it used to be. Click rate is more of an honest signal of actual engagement because a click requires a real person to take a real action. If you want to measure whether your emails are actually working, look at your click rate and track whether email is driving traffic and sales in your analytics, not just whether the open rate looks good. If your open rate is very low, start with deliverability. Run the inbox test with a dummy Gmail or Outlook account, clean your list, Only send to engaged subscribers for a few weeks while things settle. Make sure you're sending from a proper business email address. Once your list is healthy, focus on the subject line and send a name. Write subject lines after the email, not before. Find the most interesting angle in what you wrote and lead with that. Change your sender name to a person rather than a brand. Use your preview text as a second subject line. And keep the emails themselves simple. One topic, one link, short enough to read on a phone in under 2 minutes. Ask for replies occasionally. Do all of that consistently over a few months and hopefully your open rates and click rates go up. Not because you cracked some algorithm, but because you're sending emails that real people actually want to read.